name is Amanda Banton. I go to Traverse City Central High School. I'm thinking of going into advertising.
My name is Micah Woolsey. I go to Traverse City Central. Kind of always had an interest in making movies.
I am Jake Lewis. I'm a junior at Glen Lake High School. There's just always been something about me where I can recite any quote from any movie that I've watched, even if I've watched it one time. I thought that was pretty interesting and then took a film class and realized I actually liked it.
I'm Luke Kelly. I do sound engineering and I do music. I think film is just my favorite medium because, you know, sound and music both are a means of storytelling, but they can be more filled out with film.
I'm Nick Brink. I'm from Suttons Bay, and I'm studying film, and graphic design is more my area, but I still do like making videos with my friends and everything.
My name is Curtis Pickford, and I come from Kalkaska High School, and I'm with the Film and New Media program. My specialty is script writing.
I'm Naomi Javer. I'm from Kingsley. I love being able to express myself through film. I love being able to make something I am thinking happen on screen.
Tyler Griffin. I go to Suttons Bay High School, a senior this year, and I'm more headed towards the area of film as directing.
I'm Scott Tompkins. I'm the instructor for the Film and New Media program it's the Traverse Bay Area Intermediate School District Career Tech Center. I've been fortunate as an educator to work with a lot of very brilliant and talented young people over the years, and my colleague Sarah Bauman certainly falls into that category. And we started talking back, must have been in the spring or summer, about the possibility of collaborating or having some students involved as crew for her short film that she wanted to come and produce here in the United States, which has been just an amazing experience for the students and myself, just to see them kind of grow and blossom in performing their different roles with the art department and working with MK on camera and Sarah as assistant directors and all the various different components of the film and the filmmaking.
The Frayed Ends, I was one of the two sound people. I also contributed a few songs to the soundtrack.
I was an art director's assistant.
The art department is different because it's so tedious. A lot of it is getting things set up how they need to be and then redoing that 5,000 times.
I was the assistant cinematographer.
I was part of the camera crew, and I did a lot of dolly work and like grip work.
In the Frayed Ends, I was an assistant director and I did a lot of script supervising. I also did any little job that needed doing just to make it go faster.
I was assistant director. One of the main things I did was script supervisor, and I had to make sure just everyone kept their lines right. So when we'd go and edit it later, it'd still be the same.
I was also an extra in a couple scenes.
It was also just generic stuff that I did too, like get coffee, which is always, I mean, if you're doing one thing, that may be your speciality, but ultimately your job is the project.
You're pretty much up and going the whole time, just wait, even if you're not doing anything, just in case you hear MK call out oh, I need the other lens, I need this, I need the lens bag, I need the lights, something like that. You just got to be ready and on it right away.
The most important thing is probably try to make the cinematographer happy so he can make the director happy. Because otherwise it doesn't work out too well, and trying to pick up with as much as you can. Trying to, get the right lenses always, and trying to make sure you break down the equipment properly and be right there always when he needs you to be there to help out.
And so it's great to see the kids just kind of solidify their commitment to the art of filmmaking and kind of cement their intentions and their motivation to continue on, whether it's working in film or studying film in university or other kind of educational settings once they graduate from high school.
I learned how much actually goes into making a film, even if it's just a short film. There's a lot of little things that you don't really think about when you first think of production, like moving the set around. You have to have reference pictures to make sure that the continuity is correct. There's a lot of aspects that go into just making one scene, and a lot of different people that you need to make it happen, and I didn't realize that it could be such a huge thing for a small film.
I learned that the days are very long and tiring, but it's really fun.
just do a lot of stuff. You like moving, locations, proper lighting.
Oh, what I noticed was, like, James, he was on set, but he did almost all of his work off-set, like going to places, finding the costumes, what looked good.
When I was trying to do the Dali the first time, before Mr. Dalai Lama took over, and, like, that was just hard. It was just a lot more difficult than I expected it to be to make it go smooth. It is a hard job.
I liked working in the art room scenes. That was fun. Just like the fighting was like just sweet to watch, but I also had to pull off a really hard dolly shot in that scene, being like underneath the table and like trying to pull it from like an awkward position, which happened every now and then, which made it difficult.
In the end, we weren't able to use any of the sound we got, so we had to do ADR and turn a car into a sound booth last second, so, which actually worked out pretty well.
There's just a lot more than it looks like that goes into making a film than you would think.
Find a couple moments out of your day to collect your thoughts to yourself and try and not explode on anybody, because it definitely gets tense at times, but it's worth it in the end.
And personally, it was just a great experience to see Sarah in her role as a director and a co-writer of a film, and get to see that part of her and see what a bit of a little dictator she is.
Probably getting in my sleeping bag at night because 15-hour days tend to wear on you. But on the positive side, it was a good experience.
Probably like how everybody was able to interact and be like so calm and cool about it. Everybody knew that it was kind of a learning experience for everybody, and so it was easier to work as where it wasn't like, you know, oh, you gotta get this right completely. I kind of like that as a memory of like everybody just being calm and collective and working through everything.
Getting to know people, a lot of actors, actresses, film crew. It was a really good time.
Also, all the different funny things that happened when the one dude hit his face on the locker. Beautiful moment. Perfect.
The shot at the beach where everyone was just freezing and huddling around the camera trying to protect it.
Honestly, one of my favorite days was the beach day, because it was so cold, but it was just more of like a personal challenge. So I remember like 3 of us having to hold the umbrella above MK, and it was just fun.
Probably hiding under a desk to capture sound for that scene. That was uncomfortable, but extremely, I don't know, it was just entertaining for me.
One little thing I thought was just a real telling kind of a moment that we had, and we were working up in Sutton's Bay at the middle school, and so I housed about 5 or 6 of the boys, and 3 of the girls were housed in the high school over the course of, I think it was 5 nights. And about halfway through the process, we had just had probably about a 15, 16-hour day. And we're sitting in the band room, and it's about midnight, and we're tired, but it's just good. You know, we're sitting around, we're eating some snacks, we're just chilling, talking, we're sitting in a circle. There's about 8 or 10 of us together. And for me, kind of one of the greatest parts of probably even my career was when one of the students sitting in that circle, Luke, says, you know, and he's very dramatic anyway, so he just does this kind of fist-clenching thing, and he says, you know, this is what high school should be. This is what high school should be like all the time. And it was profound, and it just kind of blew me away. But to me, that just told it all, you know, that what we were doing, all the preparation, the months and weeks of getting everything ready and getting the kids involved, getting them there, to be at that point in time after, I don't know how many hours we had put in at that point, but to be sitting there near exhaustion, but just elated and just kind of giddy with the excitement of being there in the moment and being engaged in a process that they'll never forget. They'll never forget that. I know I won't forget that. Either that moment nor the experience of working on Sarah's film. It was just very powerful.
It was a really great experience for still being in high school, that is. And when I was talking to colleges, I told them about it, and they were like, oh, that's really great, you know, not a lot of people get to do that. And it was just really nice, like, being able to reference the experience as something that you could be doing in college.
It let me know on the insights on what really happens on an actual movie set, because if you don't do it and decide you're going to go into film without practice, like a practice run like we did, it would definitely been one of those things that's make or break. If you couldn't handle it, it's not going to be, it won't work for you. But I found it pretty manageable. It was fun and definitely a good time.
After the first 15-hour day, I decided that was for sure something I wanted to do professionally.
Probably when I came home from the one day that was like 15 hours and I got home and wished I hadn't have left and wanted to go back like an hour later. And I realized that if I could do something that long and still want to keep doing it, I probably want to do that for my career.
It definitely helped me find more my strong points and realize that working on a set is hard, physically draining, mentally draining.
I knew that film was a chancy thing to go into, and I figured that this class and the opportunities from this class would help me realize whether or not I actually really wanted to do it, and now I do know that like it's what I want to do, and so it's helped me like learn everything that goes into it and prepare for what I want to do.
And I've always been a real proponent of experiential learning, and that kids should be out in the world and doing what they want to do as a career while they're still in school. It was important for me to have a person like Sarah be willing to allow the process of my students being educated during the making of her film was a huge thing too.
Working on the Frayed Ends was probably the best experience I've gotten to have through this program or pretty much any other way, because I got to work in what I want to work with, and that was really cool. The program's given me lots of opportunities.
Just seeing, you know, Sarah coming back and she's a young adult now and she's out living her vision and following her passions around the world. To me, I love seeing that. That's a very powerful thing for me, and I like other students to see that, because so many of them are questioning who and what they are on the planet and what kind of impact they can have. And here's a young woman who's out achieving some things that these kids have been dreaming about doing, and they're still dreaming about doing, and here's someone who's doing it. And that's just, I think that's very powerful as well, and I got a kick out of being part of that process.
So do you want to go into film?
Definitely.
There's nothing been as big as this ever, so.
Don't be afraid of the actual task of doing something, but you just have to always be ready to do whatever needs to be done.
I'd definitely do it again.
I just don't like being on camera at all.
I know almost everything.
It was just fun.
Don't like being on camera at all.
Lucas Kelly.
How you doing?
Jericho's once and you took. I invented Crazy Luke, and you're my protege.
I know!
To the star.
Okay!
Luke Kelly.
David Fincher.
Throw that in there.
It definitely got us working and excited about the program, and now we all love it.
Go team! Yeah! 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 Yeah!
It was a beautiful thing.